In. All right. Well, good evening and aloha to all of you on this call. We so appreciate you carving out this time. I love that we're going to just jump right on in. We're going to be spending a little less than 30 minutes just giving you the nuts and bolts of what this platform is all about. And you'll know very quickly why the person who shared this with you asked you to lean in and check this out. My name is Reimi Marden, and I'm calling in from right now Bend, Oregon, where I reside. I'm an island girl from Aiea and transplanted to Las Vegas for 17 years, where I started my firm called The Winning Edge, and I have been in business for over 30 years. I have I've had multiple income streams, but I have to be frank about this. I've never experienced anything quite like this business that I'm about to share with you, because 100% of people that I've talked to are still remaining in this platform with me. You know, like anything else, any type of business, there's always attrition, right? It's always hard to retain our customers or to retain folks that are on board with us. But it has been mind-blowing to see that people have been winning from the very first week and continue to, again, because we have been blessed through this platform. So with that said, everybody, I'm going to jump in and share my screen and tell you a little bit about my story that started about 10 months ago, when I leaned into one of my mentors in the financial world and asked them for advice, because one of the businesses that I own outside of consulting and corporate training is running an apple orchard, which I finally sold. And I was coming into a chunk of money because of the sale of my home. So I was asking my mentor for advice on what I should do with this down payment that they were going to be making. Hence, this topic of where they invested their monies came up, and then I followed suit. Not just because of what they're saying, but because of the way that they live their lives. And so let me share a little bit about this background. Now, you know, 3.5 years, almost 4 years ago, I started my journey studying the Forex market. I think there's some of you in this room, that's how we met, because we were students of trading the Forex, all right? Now, I didn't even know what Forex was back then, but it's basically the exchange, trading on the foreign exchange market with currencies, all right? Now, what I learned through that journey was that while I was sleeping, my banks, my checking account balance and my savings, my bank was actually taking those funds and trading it while I was sleeping, but not giving me a cut of it. As you can see, the average account interest rates that you have been getting, I think you'd all agree, right? It's 0.01%, or if you're lucky, a 0.03. And really, it's a bank robbery, in my opinion, when you find out how much money your bank is making on your deposits while you're sleeping. This is what motivated me to learn a little bit more about the banking system and what is happening to the funds that they are utilizing to make money and make profits, and yet giving lay people like you and me such a small percent of that return. All right, so I want you to be mindful of what that means to you in the long term. All right, what you're seeing up on the screen is the calculatorsite.com. I ask you to write this down, and I want you to do your own homework. All right, this calculator, I'm showing you a starting balance. Let's say you put $500 into your bank. And let's just give the banks a benefit of the doubt and round it up to 1%. And you all know you're not making 1% on your money. But again, an annual return, if you left your $500 in your bank, do you know that that will equate to $25.51 profit you're going to make because you were a saver, that you kept your $500 in there for 5 years? It's almost shameful. We can barely buy a quarter tank of gas with 25 bucks, right? So again, let's take a look at the same number over 5 years, but 1% weekly. All right, if you were to receive a weekly return of 1%, that equate to $6,145. That's a better return and way better than what your bank is giving you then, right? So, or now. But what I want to talk to you tonight about is this. and that is a 3% return. And that is what I have, along with many that are on this call, and now 1,000 others of us who have been enjoying an average of a 3% return for, I think we're on week number 178, at least for those of us who've been on board. Now, this company, I'm going to share the history and the nuts and bolts. I love it that there's no fanfare, there's no bells and whistles. I'm going to give you the brass tax numbers. All right. So a 3% on a $500 investment weekly for 5 years, you could hypothetically receive $1 million if you left that money in and compounded it over time. There are folks that have been in this platform for 3 years, 3.5 years since its inception. All right, so welcome to Novatech. This is the company that I'm sharing with you. It is a Forex and crypto trading platform. All right, and please do not get overwhelmed or intimidated by the word Forex or crypto or trading. If you know nothing about these three topics, please lean in and allow me to share the basics of it so that you can learn that there are alternatives. Sometimes I think the system is designed to keep you in the dark, and not enough knowledge is going around in society today on how you can make your money grow like the wealthy have known all these years. All right. So before we start, I just want to remind you that I am an owner of a business called The Winning Edge. I am not a financial advisor. I'm expecting you to do your due diligence. I'm a community member here sharing information. And I will lead you to resources so that you can lean in and learn on your own. But just know that whenever you're dealing with any type of trading, anything to do with the financial market, you want to be going in with your eyes open. We call it in our industry having good risk management, meaning that you would never risk or trade with any amount of money that you're not comfortable losing. If you are a savvy investor, then you've found out whatever that amount is that you're comfortable putting out there in an investment so that your families can advance down the road. All right. You need to know what that number is and go with the best, again, options that are available to you. Now, I'm speaking to those of you who are 18 years or older. That is what this platform is designed for. All right. And again, I'm going to walk you through some of the more technical parts of it, so not to worry. All right. Now, this couple here, Cynthia and Eddie Petillon, are the owners of Novatech. They had this idea come to them over 3.5 years ago. They are American citizens. That's what I absolutely love. And they are visible. You could do research on them. They bring to you over 40 years of experience in blockchain technology, in Forex trading, as well as different crypto mining and so forth. They've had their shares of failures and successes. But what they have done is basically taken what they believe is a God-given vision and turned what is typically exclusive for the wealthy. All right, people who have 6 figures to invest have fund opportunities, but very rarely is there an opportunity for lay people like me who don't have 6 figures laying around to be invested. This was Cynthia's vision and therefore gave birth to this idea of Novatech. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about this company. First of all, from a trading perspective, those of you who are day traders who trade on your smartphones, you understand that you need an app, and this is the MetaTrader 5. This one I'm circling right here is the MT5 on your smartphone for retailers who are able to trade and make their own money in the foreign exchange and crypto trading markets. They are a broker, all right? So in order to be a broker and to have people open up accounts with them to trade, they need liquidity, all right? So they've got a strong position there. That is one sector of their business. So if you are a trader, then you can lean in on that. However, majority of you on this call, probably all of you on this call, may have no interest in learning how to trade yourself. You instead have heard about the PAM account. This is a master account trading opportunity where we as lay people can join a fund where we have masterful traders trading for us. All right, so I'm going to go into great depths, but before I do want you to understand that SmartBit is the other main subsidiary, which is a Bitcoin ATM operation based out of Florida. And in order to do any type of ATM operation, you must have a FinCEN license with the federal government here in the US. Our company, Novatech, also has that feather in their cap, if you will, and that is one element of their businesses as well. All right, so, but let's go on into the PAM account and let me educate you a little bit about how this works. Now, you may have heard the term hedge fund. I'm using this as a business model because it's probably the easiest one to describe how this works. Investors pool their money. Typically in a hedge fund, you'd need $100,000 to start. You'd pull your money together and you would use a fund house that would determine what strategy they're going to use to make money, whether it's money markets, bonds, or stocks, some type of security, trading some kind of commodity to net them in ROI. And for those not familiar, ROI stands for return on investment. When those returns come in, they then pay the investor back a portion of their proceeds and continue that process. All right, so the hedge fund concept is a good one and has worked for years. Our PAM account works fundamentally very similarly. All right, the PAM stands for Percentage Allocation Management Module. If you're taking notes, you can Google this. You'll see funds out there that offer PAM accounts. Now, with the Novatech PAM account, investors can have as little as $99 to start. We don't recommend starting at $99. I'll explain why later. But people with starting with small monies. Okay, I started with $300 because that's frankly all I had that first week when I heard about this. All right, so we pool investor monies. Novatech acts as the fund manager and then employs the technology of trading with NTech, which is artificial intelligence, with the use of masterful or skilled traders trading it in the Forex and cryptocurrency markets. Now, if you are abroad outside of the US, your funds may be traded on crypto and Forex markets. If you are a US citizen, your funds are being traded on the cryptocurrency trading markets. All right, so I'll explain a little bit more, but the whole idea is week after week since the inception of this company, these traders have been able to turn a profit and return that to its investors to the tune of about 3%. Okay, it's been averaging 2 to 4%, depending on what's happening in the world, all right? Because again, the crypto and Forex market is influenced by what is happening politically, just globally, will have an impact, all right? So Novatech makes its money from trading, and they are using, notice the robot here, they are using AI, artificial intelligence, with the combination of human intelligence to get in and out of the market. All right, now this is really important because there are bots out there that are trading for people, but I'll tell you right now, if you're depending on technology to win in this market, you're not going to be consistent because the bots never know when President Biden is speaking, or if there is a war happening or something catastrophic is happening in some part of the world. We have the benefit of human traders that are using technology to be able to get in and out of trades in milliseconds that sometimes is not humanly even possible. All right, so you combine those two technologies or talents and you are able to take advantage of the market going up and going down. Because you probably are saying, how the heck is this company able to produce a return when stocks are falling, 401ks are plummeting, businesses are going out of business, right? People are suffering these days, and yet how the heck has Novatech been able to turn a profit every single week for 3.5 years? And this is why. What you're seeing on the screen, again, please don't get intimidated if you've never seen candlesticks, but basically a trader will take a position on a buy move going up. All right, as I'll put in my cursor right here so you can see, a trader will get into a trade going up and project and put a take profit up here. And when that price goes up to that point, they will close that trade and make money. Now, this is what's extraordinary. I want you to open up your minds because I know a lot of you understand how we make money when markets are going up. All right, we buy low, we sell high, we make money. But how the heck would a company make money on a sell when prices drop? Just like you hear Bitcoin dropping or other cryptocurrencies dropping. Well, a masterful trader would be able to take a position up here and predict that the market is going to fall. And when it hits their take profit down at this level, the movement of price is what makes that trader profitable. And that is why we have been able to work this market both directions and be able to net a profit for its investors 24/7. All right, notice here on the 24/7, when you're trading cryptocurrency, it runs 7 days a week in all markets around the world. All right, there's the Asian market, the New York, right, exchange, and so forth. But we have traders that are trading on our behalf. So even if you and I wanted to trade for ourselves, we could never take advantage of all of those market times because we have to sleep. We've got to go to work and do things. But again, in this situation, if you are your monies are being traded on the crypto market, it's 24/7. If you are out of the country, your monies may be traded on the Forex market, which runs 24/5. All right, it starts on a Sunday afternoon and ends on a Friday afternoon. Okay, so here are some of the returns I want to share with you from 2021. Now, it started back in 2019, but just for the most recent, take a look. In 2021, this is monthly returns, okay? So there's typically 4 weeks in a month. And if we average 3%, that would be 12%, right? Each month. So you notice January, it was 15. February 13.6, March 18.1, and so forth. If you go through that, well over 3% was the average. Now in 2022, more tougher times as we've all been experiencing, but nonetheless, way more than what your bank is paying you on your monies that are in your checking or your savings account. So we're very happy to be getting anywhere from a 2 to 4% each week. Here we have January 11.6, March 12.9, even in the month of May of this year. I don't know if you recall, May 13th, that Friday, that week was devastating. There was a fall of an exchange called Luna. Stocks plummeted, people's 401ks dropped dramatically in that time frame. It was a very difficult week. We all thought, you know what, we're not going to get a return. And yet on May 13th, we did get a return. I say May 13th specifically because we get our payout as investors on a Friday. And on that Friday, we did indeed get a return for an average for the month of May, 7.9%, which we were pleased because there were so many others out there suffering. Not that I'm glad about folks suffering, but I am so thankful that we are in a platform that is capitalizing on the fall of price in terms of trading. All right. So as you can see the other numbers, we have spreadsheets that can show you the returns from the history all the way to date. All right. So we've been very blessed this way. Now, can I guarantee you results this coming Friday? No. Or next Friday? Absolutely not. In any investment, by the way, if you ever get involved with any type of platform that says, hey, we can guarantee you a return, I suggest you look somewhere else, guys, because in this marketplace, there are no promises. We are taking, again, we're making educated decisions based on performance and, again, your own judgment. All right. So with that, let's take a look at what it would take, what you would make, excuse me, if you came in at a $500 level. All right. So say you invested $500 in a platform like this. On Friday, assuming that you got a 3% average return, you'd make $15. Now, on Fridays, we have the option to cash out. And when I cash out, which I have been weekly, you can get your money back in 24 to 48 hours. That $15 could come right back to your exchange. I'm going to explain how this all happens. But just know that if you did that every week, it would take 55 weeks for you to get your $500 out. All right. And then at the end of 12 months, you would have $480 in your pocket. Now let's take a larger sum, like 5,000. You see 5,000 here. If you had a 3% return, you'd make 150 next Friday. All right, that decision you have, do you want to keep it in or do you want to pull it out? I have investors who cash out. They take that 150, and if you did that for 35 weeks, you would break even and you'd get for your 5,000 seed money back. And you would end that 12 months with $7,500. All right, pretty good, right? Considering your alternative, which is to leave it in your bank, which you know is not making you but just a wee bit of money, right? Pennies, actually. So I want you to know that that is one way that you could use this vehicle. And the other over here in the green section, let me walk you through that. Many of us are doing this. If you started with 500, watch my cursor, $500. In 34 weeks, if you kept turning the profit, the $15, and you redeposited it, you would end the first year with $2,025.44. All right, we call that compounding, and you all have heard this concept. You know, would you rather take $1 million now or take a penny doubled every day for 30 days? All right, and you know what the answer is, right? It's not to take the $1 million, but to take that the penny every day and have it doubled, because you Google it and you'll see what kind of return you'll get. So the same concept is, if you're comfortable with your investment of 500 and you're willing to let that profit just turn over, in 34 weeks, you'd have your money back and you'd end the year having tripled that, right, to 2,000. Now let's look at the 5,000. You'd make $150 on Friday, you'd redeposit it, and in 26 weeks, you would break even, you'd get your seed money back, and you would end that first year with $22,954. That's an amazing return in 1 year, all right? And by then, you would be operating with what we call market money, or some of you call it house money, right? Because you would have already gotten your seed money back in profit if you decided to pull that out. And that's what we do advise our investors do. If you are risk adverse and you're nervous about making an investment, then you might be over leveraging, guys, and we don't want anyone here to over leverage and put more money in than they're comfortable losing. All right, so you choose what that amount is. Don't run your own race. Do not be tempted to do an amount of money just because someone else is doing it. Okay, so I started, as I mentioned, with $300, and then I added as I went along. All right, now investors who come in at 100,000, we do have several of them who've making a $3,000 return on Friday. And I've had some business owners actually pull out their $3,000 and use that for operating their businesses. And then in week number 34, they would break even and then end the year with $156,000, being, again, risk-free. This would be an asset that would be turning over for them. Notice at that point, in year number 2, that money would just continue to grow if they decided to keep it in. But look at the alternative. In week number 25, you see here when you would break even, and you would end the year with $465,000, again, assuming a 3% average return. All right, so that kind of gives you kind of a broad projection of what it could be and how people are using this vehicle. All right, so let me give you kind of nuts and bolts. You can choose, again, as I mentioned, to start at any level that you want. And here's the best part. Guess how much it costs to set up, to get started? It's $0. All right, this was what really stumped me at the beginning. There is no setup fee or a get started fee, administrative fee of any sort. The company instead charges a $25 monthly fee for any account that is less than $25,000. And I'm telling you, there are people on this call who would be glad to pay $25 to be a part of something where their money could be earning while they're sleeping. So that $25, the best part about it is that it's coming out of the ROI every month, 30 days after you've enrolled. You do not put a debit card down. You don't put a credit card or your routing number to your checking account where they ding you every month, as so many auto ships do. This one is pulled right out of your profits. All right, so that's quite attractive in my opinion. That was kind of something that I leaned into. I wanted to know what the fees, what's the fine print details. All right, now others fine print details. For those of us who have accounts over 25,000, the fee of $25 is waived. And in addition to the 3% every Friday, we also make a 1% return on our profits each month. And the people at $100,000 level make a 2.5% return. Okay, so that's that. Let's talk about how do we set it up? How does this exactly work? This is crypto in, crypto out, all right? So what we do is we're going to teach you, if you're not savvy about crypto, don't worry about it. I was not. I needed someone to walk me through it, hold my hand, and that's what our team is actually known for, being hand holders, and we sometimes get criticized for that, but we want to help each other. It's like one big ohana, where our theme is we're high tech, we're high touch. All right, so we purchase crypto on an exchange. You're going to learn about that. An exchange is a place where we can turn our US dollars, we call that fiat currency, whatever country you come from. You can turn your US dollar into a crypto of choice. In our case, with Novatech, they give you the option to fund your accounts with Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, or USDC, which is Tether. It's a stable coin. And then, so once we convert that to crypto, we can enter Novatech and we send the money in to a Novatech through a third party called Coin Payments that handles the transaction. And boom, it hits our e-wallet in Novatech. That is basically how we fund our account. Now, when it hits the e-wallet in Novatech, your investment will convert to stablecoin. What is stablecoin? It basically means that it won't change with the fluctuation of the coin. Typically, Bitcoin, you hear, is volatile. It'll go up and down. And so even if you funded your account with Bitcoin and Bitcoin dropped in the next hour or minute or day after you funded, you don't have to worry about that, because if you sent in 1,000, it converts to stablecoin and your value of your investment is locked in at the value that you intended, all right? So it remains there, and in the e-wallet, you can read the amount of your balance in US dollars. So you always have an idea of what the value is and how it's growing. All right, so that's basically how you get in. Now, how we get out, I mentioned to you already that we can cash out in 24 to 48 hours out of our bonus account. The bonus account is where our profits sit on Friday when we get paid. Some of us also get paid on Saturdays. All of that extra money that we earn sits in the bonus account until we decide if we're going to pull it out or if we're going to redeposit. So let's just say you want to pull the bonus money out. This is how you do it. You check your e-wallet, you see how much you have, and then you prepare to make your transfer. You do a request for cash out. You tell Novatech where to send that crypto to. You decide what coin you want it in, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, or USDT, and you give them your wallet address, all right? So those who aren't savvy with this all, just know that when you deal with crypto, you give them a wallet address, just like your house address. When I want to send you a gift, I get your address, I write it on the envelope or the gift box, and I ship it on by postal service right to your address. Well, it's the same way with crypto. We get your wallet address, and Novatech then sends your crypto to that address. And when it hits your wallet, you have a decision of what you can do with it, all right? Here's what some do. Some cash out, and they convert it back to USD in their banks, all right? When you do that, that is considered a capital gain, and that is a taxable event. Some people leave it in crypto, and they put it into a crypto credit card. All right, did you know that there is such a thing as a MasterCard or a Visa that works like a debit card? And so we can guide you on that regard as well. All right, now we also have different recommendations for cold storage. It's kind of like having a safe deposit box where you own your own keys, where you can store your crypto assets. And as long as your monies are held in crypto, again, you understand here in the US, this is around the world a deregulated arena. Now, our governments are actively pursuing control over this sector of the place of cryptocurrency. That may likely happen, but for now, it is a deregulated a space that we deal with. So a lot of us are leaving our profits in cryptocurrency and managing it in a savvy way. All right. Now, again, all of the past profits don't guarantee future success, but we want you to be able to take this information I shared with you, get the reviews from other investors that are in. In fact, I would love if you are on this call tonight. Let me see how many folks we have. 22 people on this call. And if you are currently invested, would you put a 1 in the chat? Put a 1 in the chat so our guests here tonight can see the number of people that have already set up Novatech accounts. Put a 1 in the chat there. And if you have received a return, would you put a 10 in the chat? All right, so a 1 if you're invested, and a 10 if you yourself have received a return on a Friday. All right, now what you're seeing up on the screen while we're waiting for those numbers to show up in the chat, you may take a photograph of this page because I've made some QR codes. If you know how to use them, you can lay your finger on it and it will pop open these YouTube videos. And here's the first one, Trading Proof with Cynthia and Eddie Petian. They talk about how their traders trade our deposits, our fund. And by the way, they're never trading more than 20% of their portfolio at any given time. They're using proper risk management for those of you who are savvy in trading. Is Novatech legit or is it a Ponzi scheme? That's an interesting video for you to watch as well. By the way, for those who don't know what a Ponzi scheme is when a company is taking investor money and paying off other investors with their money. Okay, that's illegal. All right, and so be wary of any company who you suspect are doing that. All right, in this case, this company Novatech are paying its profits out of the trading performance of its traders. All right, you'll learn more when you lean in. These two, what you heard versus the truth. Also, this Straight Talk is an excellent video. So again, you can go to those YouTubes. Here's some more. If you want to do more due diligence on your part to learn about current events and what's happening, here's 6 reasons people don't trust Novatech. I love that one. 6 reasons not to invest in Novatech. You're probably thinking, boy, that's kind of strange. Why would Reimi be showing you that? Well, let me tell you, he's so wise. If you are thinking that this is get rich quick, like overnight, don't invest in Novatech. Go find something else. If you are thinking you're going to over leverage and you're going to put all, you're going to deplete your 401k and throw it in this, go somewhere else, guys. We are not advising you to do that. All right. So just know that one of the best ways for you to be a savvy investor is to plan your future. And I'm just going to give you a way to do that. I've already shared with you the calculatorsite.com. By the way, guys, this has nothing to do with our company, the calculatorsite.com. It's just a tip that I'm sharing with you because it's such a beautiful way to do some projections for you into the future. Notice here, this example, I put the same $500 that I shared with you at the beginning of our presentation, but this time I'm putting 4%. Do you see in the red circle? Notice that I've been talking to you about 3%, but I'm going to show you the power of what 1% can do on the same balance over 5 years. All right, notice to the right, $13.4 million, just because we changed the percentage from 3% to 4%. And for those who don't recall, the 3% was actually would net you $1 million. So I'm going to share a little bit more about how many of us on this call are getting an extra percent. But before I do, I want you to take a screenshot of this page as well. This is, if you want to go directly to that calculator, you can click on this link, or the power of compounding. There's a demonstration of how to use the calculator site for you and a spouse to sit down and plan how you're going to go about making your returns or how to project. Okay, so let me stop this share. And I'm going to actually take you all onto the calculator site right now. And while I'm pulling it up, I want to have you open up your mics and share with me questions that are running through your mind right now. I see a lot of tens in the chat. Beautiful. And while I'm doing this, guys, thank you for responding to me in the chat. I must say that the thing that has been most pleasing to me, having started in February of this year, now it's 10 months, there has not been one Friday that we haven't gotten a return. And I have a 0% attrition. Okay, so or I could say 100% retention. And why that is meaningful to me, because I've been involved in so many different businesses in the past that I just love and have learned a great deal from, but inevitably people quit and they give up. But in this arena, with passive income, our investors have been enjoying a profit. And this is how it starts, okay? So I'm going to share my screen and take you to Google Chrome and walk you through the calculator site right here. If you have just picked this up for yourself, you could check the Forex compounding calculator here if you just Googled it. And I'm actually going to show you one where we can get an even more accurate number because this daily compound calculator lets you, oh, here it comes. My system's a little slow tonight. All right, I'm going to actually click on this first tab where it says compound interest, okay? Because this calculator actually lets you do a monthly withdrawal, which you all know, if you're like me, I started with $300, they would charge me the $25, right, each month. So I want to get the most accurate number. Okay, so let's put $1,000 in here. Let's just say you started with that. And this is what I want you to do at home with your family, okay? Take the whatever, I put 3% because that's what we average, and change this to weekly. Let me make this bigger for your eyes. All right, number of years, you and your spouse can decide what planning you're doing. Maybe you want to see what is $1,000 going to look like in 3 years. At 3% weekly. Now make sure you change the compound to weekly, 52 weeks a year. And we're going to do withdrawal because we have to pay our $25, okay? And that comes out monthly, so you can leave it there for monthly. And then you're going to push calculate. All right, and then it will show you $1,000 with the $25 being pulled out every month. It would come out to $82,000. All right, now where could you put a $1,000 investment and turn it into $82,000? Again, this is hypothetical. If the company continues to net the returns that it has. I mean, can you imagine the people who started with Novatech in 2019? These are the returns that they have been enjoying. All right, now let's take a look. Go down here and you can, let me make it bigger. You can see, you can look at the returns monthly or yearly. Now I like monthly because I want to see on month number 1, my $1,000 would make me $136. But I have to pay $25. So my account would grow by $1,111. Then in month 2, same thing. I'd pay my $25. I get my $151, and then I add that to the balance. So you can see how the chart works. Let's take a look at month number 7. All right, month number 7, I would have made $265 that month, as many people on this call are doing with their returns. And here you have $2,185. So basically, you now doubled your $1,000. Now, again, as I mentioned, if you are risk adverse and you're worried about your investment, then take your seed money out, cash out, and then start at your $1,000 again and grow your money. All right, guys? But if you are comfortable with the investment that you've made, then I call it like your fun money. Like when you go to Las Vegas, you guys, you decide how much is your budget and you don't expect to come back with it. Or if you don't come back with it, you're not heartbroken because that's how it is. All right, so I want you to find a comfort level that you feel good about. All right. And if you're sharing this with someone, same thing, just help them come up with the amount that they're comfortable with. Now, let's take a look. Let's scroll all the way down to month number 24. Actually, let's look at month number 27. Your account is over 25,000. Look, it's 26,100. So at this point, you would stop paying the 25 bucks, right? As I mentioned. But look at what the monthly return is, $3,145. I know there are people on this call that this is your return monthly. And just say, you took out half of that and cashed it out for now money. Could you pay a car payment with that? Could you pay for groceries? Could you pay for the air conditioner that just went out? Actually, my heater just went out. And having now money like this is very helpful. All right. That is what our investors doing right now. In fact, there are people on this call. If you yourself have pulled out and tested the system and did a cash out, would you put a 5 in the chat? If you yourself have been invested and you tested the system and taken a withdrawal, would you put a 5 in the chat? Just so that we can see that this is, people have received their money in 24 to 48 hours on their bonus account. And if, by the way, you want to pull out your seed money out of the trading balance, out of this big balance here, it will take 7 to 14 days only. I say only because I don't know if you've tried pulling money out of a 401k. Let me tell you, it could take 30 days before you see your money return to your bank, okay? So anyway, I just wanted you to know that that's how people are using this tool. In fact, I'm gonna call on my friend Renee Kudlik, who just recently retired, and she's gonna share a little bit about her decision because of the work she did with this calculator to identify whether or not it was the right time for her to retire from her job. Gosh, I think close to 30 years of service, and I'll let her tell you. But the idea here is, again, at month number 36, the return each month is 9,907. Guys, would half of that help you maybe retire your wife or your spouse or someone? If you could have a return passively, right, on your investment of $1,000. Okay, so I'm going to stop to share, and I hope that you will do your homework and put some numbers in there and play with it. Renee, could you say hello to our friends here?
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Renee.
My name's Renee Kudlak. I've been in Novatech since late February, early March. And let me tell you, at that point, I wasn't sure. I kind of had a vision of retiring next year. But because of how the stock market's been, basically, my 401s tanked. And just in October, I found out that if I hadn't retired by the end of November, I was going to lose like $140,000 in my pension. So I kind of decided to retire. So the way that I work the compounding calculator is I had to work on, I looked at the now, not necessarily the end result. So what did it take for me to replace that income? So I realized my sweet spot was 100,000 in my account. And that took a lot of work, signing up people, helping people, getting myself, getting, like stop the Amazon shopping, stop all the silly spending, and just put and invest everything I could into my Novatech. So I'm not quite yet at the 100,000. I will be next month, and that would bring me about 12,000 a month. Do I need that much? No, not at all. But it will supplement. I think the beauty about looking at that calculator, though, is my sweet spot is the 100,000. That is my ultimate goal right now. But I don't know if you've looked at your bank accounts, right? Like for me, I received not too long ago inheritance. Well, my bank account, my inheritance dwindles every time I take the money out. Well, if you look at how Novatech works, Like my investment will always stay at the 100,000 because I'm only taking out my bonuses, my return on investments. I'm not going to take the full 12,000. I'm just going to supplement what I need to survive on a monthly basis. So I'll never see that number dwindle. And that's kind of like eye-opening for me is I'm meeting all these, I mean, it's just a dream come true because, you know, I won't see my account dwindle. You know, my bank could be empty, but I'm still going to see that 100,000 in the Novatech, and I'm still just my bonuses to supplement my income because I don't have a check anymore.
Congratulations, Renee. I'm
Thank
excited.
you.
Renee, you mentioned signing people up, all right? And I know I didn't get into that part of it. If you all want to know more about how we make an extra percent, please let me know, and we're glad to explain our affiliate program. It is optional. All right, majority of people start, they just want to invest. I don't want to talk about this with anything. It's kind of personal. It's my money. You do not need to talk to anybody about this. But I'll tell you what happens typically is after several weeks of making 3% on your money, you're kind of feeling guilty because you didn't tell your sister or your brother or your best friend. And they're like, you know what? Their money, their hard-earned money is making nothing in their banks. So anyway, it kind of has happened organically for many of us on this call, but I just wanted you to know that that is an option. We're happy to share with you. There's 7 different ways that we earn passive income by helping others get funded. There are steps, and that is why we're here as an Ohana. We have a Telegram channel that is open to you as a guest if you'd like to just jump in to meet our community. And then once you're funded, we'll have you join our other channel, private channels. All right, so there you have it in a nutshell. I hope that this answered your questions. If you do, feel free to type in the chat right now any questions for any of us on the call, and or you could come into our Telegram. Make sure the person that invited you will invite you in there so that you can ask questions and share feedback or comments. And again, I'd love to open it up for anybody else who'd like to say anything before we sign off tonight. I know there's a lot of happy people on this call, especially Wayne. I worked with Wayne. He's from Pro City, you guys. And Wayne was very diligent about getting set up, and he wired his monies in, and we got him funded last week and got a partial return. So even if you enroll on a Thursday, you will see a return on Friday for that one particular, you know, for that one day that you were in the system when your monies were being traded. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for coming to the call. I will make this. Oh, hi, Joanne. Joanne is from Maui. Please come off mute and say hello.
Aloha, everybody.
Hi, Joanne.
Hello. How's it? So I had a question.
Yes.
Basically, is the 2FA just for withdrawals or anything else?
Yes, it's when you want to change your profile. When you want to change anything in your personal settings, it may ask you for to do a 2-factor authentication. It also in your withdrawals, when you're cashing out, it may ask you to verify your identity. All right.
Okay.
Now, Joanne, I'm so glad you popped open because I did fail to say something that's very important. There are 6 states where Novatech does not do business. All right. And it's because those states have very stringent regulation on cryptocurrency, and Hawaii is one of them. So you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, then how come I'm doing this call for our Hawaii friends? So our Hawaii is growing, at least on our team, because we are not letting that stop us. Hawaii people need to know that there's an alternative. So we are getting LLCs established in the state of Wyoming or Nevada or any other state for that matter, and then funding their accounts with their limited liability corporations. So Joanne, for example, is also an LLC owner. And even like for Troy out of Florida, while he may be he's in a state that does do business, but he has the option to join as an LLC as well. All right, we'll walk you through that process of getting yourself established with an LLC. The states are South Carolina, Alaska, Hawaii, California, Texas, and what did I miss?
Oh, California was added, I guess.
Yes, yeah, California was just
Hmm.
added, and I'm missing one, guys. Montana. There you go. All right, but we'll help you. Do not let that get in your way. That is what our governments want you to do, is to run the other way and say, oh, I guess I can't participate. Guys, please don't back down. Allow us to walk you through the process. All right, I will turn this into a YouTube, and I will present this recording on our investor channel. And you may share this with others who have interest in learning the nuts and bolts, all right? We appreciate your attendance, guys, tonight. I look forward to your questions in the channel. And again, thank you for your time. And aloha to everybody who invited a friend tonight. All right, good night, Troy. You're 3 hours ahead of us. Midnight your time. Aloha all.